Enhancing in BDO is definitely one of its pain points, so it's extremely important that you min-max your opportunities of success while enhancing to alleviate some of that stress. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a Reblath fail stacking system, and I recently made one of these systems. You might have seen me do it on stream, and I used this system to build an almost 250 stack, which I recently used to hit my Pen Black Star offhand. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set it up and how to utilize it. Now, I know there are other ways to fail stack by using boss gear or black star, raw tapping and stuff, but I think it's really important to have a Reblath system because it doesn't cost you much. It just costs you a little bit of silver into materials, and you don't need any memory fragments. You don't need any artisan memories. So it's very economical. If you want to make the cheapest stacks possible, it's going to come through the Reblath system. So let me explain how it works. You've probably seen a lot of streamers do this, a lot of YouTubers do this, especially if they're enhancing for profit. The key to being as efficient as possible is to calculate everything. Now, you don't have to do that. I'm just saying the way people do this for profit and stuff, they're calculating every little cost. So whenever you're making a fail stack, the blackstones that go into it, the concentrated magical blackstones that go into it, all of those have an inherent cost to them, and each fail stack is worth a certain amount of money. So whenever BDO gives away a free 100 stack or a free 150 stack, that's free money they're giving away because each fail stack has its inherent value. Now, how you utilize this Reblath system, while mine seems a bit excessive, you don't have to make it this big. I have like almost close to 80 pieces of Reblath. You can do it with half of that, no problem. But the basics are like this. Whenever you start out enhancing, let's say we need a 50 stack or something. So I'm going to fail stack on my Reblaths. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 20 stack in, and we're going to fail this a few times. Oh, it's a 32 stack. I'm going to go ahead and start failing on the duo. So now that's going to start progressing all the way up to 50. Well, 48 per se. And then we can use the tries and start failing on that. So we fail on a few tries, and there we go. We're already at 60, but we can send another try in. So now we're at 65. So building a 65 stack was that easy. All it took was the inherent cost of the materials that I need to spend and just a little bit of silver for repairing the Reblaths every once in a while. So what we're spending is blackstone armors and concentrated magical blackstone. So this is the basic of how it works. Basically, you're going to use your add additional enhancement chance and consume a blackstone armor for whatever. Some people start at 15, some at 20, some at 30. You know, the amount of money you want to put in and how much time you want to save, that's up to you. But for me, I usually start at around 20. You could also make your own 20 stacks pretty easily by using plus 14s. Plus 14s are pretty easy to fail, right? So just tapping away at plus 14s, you can build up the stack, but it takes time. So I like to save that time and just straight up just consume the blackstones and, you know, just get my plus 20 stacks from that. So, you know, however you want to do it, that's up to you. But the premise is first you're going to start off with a base amount of stacks, and then you're going to use pry. You're going to fail on it a few times, or if you succeed, that's fine. That's going to be used to fail later. If that succeeds and becomes a try, that'll be used even later. And if it becomes a tet, then you're goated. And those tet Reblaths are super important because that's what pushed those really high stacks like I used to get a 250. So this is the basics of how you're utilizing the Reblath system. Now, in order to make it, it's pretty damn simple. All you have to do is buy a bunch of Reblaths from the blacksmith in Valia. They're really cheap. Buy the Reblath shoes or the Reblath gloves because they're the cheapest and cheapest to repair. And you just buy a bunch of them, and then you just start tapping away. Now, after about plus 10 or 11, you could just force enhance it and get to 13. And once you're at plus 13, I like to fail stack up to plus 10, and then I'd go from 10 to 20 on a plus 14 Reblath. And once I get a 20 stack, I just bank it. You can buy one of those blacksmith books right here from the NPC, and they're only 100k each. So you can buy those and save it up. By the time I built my entire fail stack system, I had 60 plus 20 stacks ready to go, and that saved me time later on. So you don't have to do that. You can immediately start progressing your prize to duos, to tries and tets as you build up the whole system. But I wanted to get everything to pry first, and then I started actually utilizing it. So how you do it is up to you. Now, there's an important adventure log you have to keep note of when you're doing enhancements, when you're doing enhancement for profit. So basically, as you do the Reblaths and you finish quests, basically it needs you to finish a certain amount of quests and you get rewards based on that. So at 1,004 quests, you get a +1 permanent enhancement chance. That means +1 fail stack baseline. And then at 4,921, you get another one. At 9,999, you get another one. At almost 19.2k, that's another one, and the last one's at almost 30k. So by doing this journal, it really helps you if you're an enhancer for profit, but you don't really have to do it. I recommend at least getting to +2. Now, the important thing when building a fail stack system is obviously the material. The material you're putting in is going to be the black stones and the concentrated magical black stones. Now, in order to get these, you can either farm them yourself. Like, I'm a grinder. I do a lot of PvE grinding and I make hundreds of black stones per hour just by grinding thornwood and stuff. So I had over 40,000 of each weapon and armor saved up, and I started buying the hards off the marketplace when the price was at the lowest it's ever been recently. So buying these on the low is super important if you're enhancing. So when it was down here, I started pre-ordering them, and I pre-ordered up to like 5,000, I think, and I'm not even halfway through using all of them. So I think it was definitely a really good investment, because if you can see it 3 month here, that is a very good price. Right now it's almost, it's at one point it got even double of that price. So buying when it's low is super important if you want to enhance and build fail stacks. However you get it, it's how you get it. And same thing for blackstone armors. Buy them on the low and just stockpile. Stockpiling is really important, because this fail stack system is going to last you for your entire BDO career, because you're always going to need fail stacks. Once you get to the point where you need tri armors, tri slumbering origin armors, pen black stars, you need pen accessories, you're going to need to be building really high fail stacks, and having a system like this really helps out. So when you're doing this fail stack system, and the way I like to start off is at +20, I go all the way up to 32 fail stacks, failing on pri Reblaths. Then I go up to 48, failing on duos, and then I'll do tri Reblaths all the way up to almost 100, late 90s, early 100, how much ever you want to do it. It is a bit of a risk factor once you get to the higher end, but if you really need those tets in order to progress your larger stacks, like going for that 200 plus to 250, then you might need to start pushing a little bit higher on that tries and getting those tet Reblaths. But that's basically how I do it. Now, you might be wondering about alternative methods. People, tap boss gear all the time. They tap accessories while they're doing their fail stacking. In between, they tap black stars. Well, if you really need a boss gear or boss armor, you can enhance it if you want to enhance it yourself. Now, it costs a lot of resources and you're burning a lot of money with memory fragments and artisan memories and stuff. But if you really want to do it, go ahead. If you're going to do that, then take that stack maybe up to like 180 if you want to stop and save that stack for like a slumbering origin armor try tap, or you can even take it up to 200. Failing tet black star to 200-ish, that's okay too. Honestly, it's a risk factor. If you do succeed on those really high-end taps, yeah, you get the item, but you might not feel so good about it. So I know in some regions people do tap pen black stars raw. That means not using any cron stones to progress a stack from a 250 to 300. Only do that if you actually need the pen black star, and if you are trying to save up for a 300 stack, so you can use it for a debo in the future. But realistically, there are alternatives to doing that. I mean, yeah, using these Reblath methods, it starts getting a lot riskier once you get to the higher end there after 250, because if you lose that stack and you tap a pen Reblath, you lose it all, right? So it's very unfortunate to succeed at that point. So you can consider using Origin of Dark Hungers. So the Origin of Dark Hunger, they'll usually be sitting on the marketplace. Right now they're at peak price at 3 bill each. If you want to see how much fail stacks they add each of them, you can go to garmot.com and you can just click this, or you can just refer to the screenshot I have here, and it shows you here like at 250 to 279 it gives +3 each of them. So you're basically paying a 1 bill per each fail stack. Now you can do the math on your server how much you're paying for the tet black star, and you can calculate how much you're going to cost here. Now you could use this entire system to remake those tet black stars bars and keep raw tapping. But like I said, it costs a lot of memory fragments and it can be very expensive in that regard. So, you know, however you decide to proceed, that's up to you. I understand everyone's in a different situation. They got different amount of time to play. They're willing to take different type of risks and stuff. But overall, those are options. And I just wanted to let you guys know. Now, there is an enhancement calculator that a lot of the people in the community know about and use. It's really useful. I'm not going to explain how to use it here because the person who made the spreadsheet has a YouTube channel and has made a lot of videos on it. So I'll link them in the description down below. A person named Shadow Saber. So he does a lot of content on fail stack building. So definitely check it out if you really want to go in depth with how to use that spreadsheet and stuff. So, you know, check them out there. Also, big shout out to D, because D Yum Yum on Twitch, my boy, my friend and guildie. I was just lurking on one of his streams and he was the one who called out Blackstones and Hards are at the lowest price they've ever been, and that we should, you know, stock up on them. It's a good time to stock up if you ever wanted to build fail stacks. I'm like thinking, yeah, I'm at that point. I'm gonna need fail stacks. So, you know, huge shout out to him. Link will be in the description down below. And also shout out to one of my viewers, Main Gucci. You're BDO famous now, buddy. Go tell your wife, tell your family. He asked me to make a fail stack guide months ago, and I told him then, hey, you know, I'm not quite there yet, but pretty soon I'm going to be at the point where my gear progression is going to depend on having high fail stacks and cron tapping and enhancing. And once we get there, I'll make a guide for him. So here we are. I hope you guys found this helpful. Please do like, comment, and subscribe, and check me out at twitch.tv/I'mPansy, where I stream. So, you know, enhancing can be very frustrating. It is not a very good system. All it is just a gambling system, man. I don't like it. This RNG enhancing, but you know, we take the little steps we can to kind of skew that needle in our direction. You know, obviously we're gonna still fail more than we succeed, but that little bit of min-maxing to get the right fail stack to build it as cheap as possible really goes a long way in the long run. So, you know, I hope you guys found this helpful. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.